Welcome back to Hoosier Homes and Hustles, and more specifically, welcome to another round of Contracts and Coffee, where we sip and simplify the real estate fine print. I'm Jessica Williams.
And I'm Stacy Preston. Today we're tackling a contract clause that comes up a lot, especially in investor deals, estate sales, or homes that need a little TLC, the As-Is Addendum.
And for the coffee part, today we're drinking coffee from Bova Conti in Fountain Square. Now, I love Bova Conti, both for the aesthetics and their Spanish latte. And don't worry, if you're not in the downtown area, they actually just opened up a new location in Carmel. So if you're on the north side, you guys have your options to check that one out as well.
Nice. It's so good.
So let's start with the basics. What does it actually mean when a property is being sold as is?
In Indiana, when a buyer signs an as-is addendum, they are agreeing to buy the property in its current condition with no guarantee that the seller will make any repairs.
But, and this is really important, it doesn't mean they waive their right to an inspection. They can and should still do their inspections and back out if major issues are found, as long as it's within the inspection period.
Right. It's really about setting expectations. What you see is what you get. The seller is saying, I'm not fixing anything. And the buyer is saying, I understand that, but I still want to do my due diligence and have an inspection.
So when do we typically see this addendum used?
Lots of time in estate sales, foreclosures, bank-owned properties, or investment flips. Sellers may not know much about the home or just don't want to be on the hook for repairs. Sometimes they can't financially afford them. Sometimes they've never lived in the home.
It can also make sense for sellers who've already priced the home knowing it needs work. They're saying, this is the deal, take it or leave it.
And we've used it for buyers too, especially if they're experienced investors who plan to renovate anyways and don't want to negotiate over minor issues. I've also had buyers use it to make their offer stand out and give the seller peace of mind that they're not going to be haggling over repairs later on in the process.
Okay, so what are the risks for both sides?
For buyers, the risk is obvious. You're accepting responsibility for repairs. If you waive your inspection rights, which we never recommend, you might miss something big like a foundation issue or a failing septic system. If you do the inspection and find something, you cannot negotiate repairs, so you would be out the cost of the inspection at that point if you decided to walk away.
And for sellers, one thing to know is even with an as-is agreement, buyers can still walk away if the inspection results are too scary. They may not ask you to fix it, but they're not locked in either.
Exactly. As is isn't a magic shield. It's about transparency, and both parties need to still understand their rights under the purchase agreement.
Another big thing to know, especially if you're a buyer, is that under the As-Is Addendum in Indiana, if you try to negotiate repairs, the seller has the right to terminate the contract.
Yes, even if it's a small request, just asking for the repair can give the seller the option to walk away entirely. It's written right into the addendum, and it catches a lot of buyers off guard.
And that's why it's so important to go into an as-is deal with eyes wide open. Do your inspections, but know that the negotiation window is a lot narrower, and in some cases, non-existent.
Yeah. So, Jessica, do you have any real-life examples of how you've used this?
Yeah, let's talk real life. I had a buyer pick up a home listed as is, knowing it needed some updates, but they were shocked when the inspection found active water leaks and electrical issues that weren't up to code. Even though they'd signed the addendum, they still backed out, and that was totally within their rights.
Okay, well, same here. I've had a seller who didn't want to deal with inspection negotiations, so we priced it aggressively. We disclosed what we knew and listed as is. The buyer still did the inspections, but didn't ask for anything, and it closed without a hiccup. Everyone was happy because we did set those expectations up front.
The as-is clause can be a powerful tool, but it needs to be used correctly and understood by both parties.
Buyers, don't skip your inspections, and sellers, don't assume as is means no one is going to ask questions.
Clear communication, realistic pricing, and a good understanding of the contract terms will help make the deal smoother, whether you're buying or selling.
That's it for today's Contracts and Coffee. Got questions about the clauses or forms in the Indiana Purchase Agreement? Be sure to drop them in the comments, and we might feature your topic in our next episode.
Until next time, let's hustle smarter
together.